line of assault. It seems as if they've caught the Afrika Korps napping. Here we go, he's an incoming finder, that won't come up. British mortars and artillery hammering the German position. Hitting them down. And here comes a flank attack. There we go, we've got 4 arms fire, and the Germans are retreating. Oh, man down. The Germans are retreating. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is no rout. They've planned this. They know exactly where they're going to be going. They have secondary positions. The Sherwoods have overrun their front line, but the Germans have a secondary line. They are not giving up yet. It's going to turn into a firefight now between the Sherwoods and the Afrika Korps. Evenly matched at the moment. It really depends on whose armour turns up first. And it's the British. Here comes the British Matilda 2. Speed of the battlefield. Speed of the desert. Well, certainly was anyway a year or so before, fighting the Italians. Very heavily armoured, mounting a 2-pounder gun. The Afrika Korps have been forced to give up their anti-tank position, so they are vulnerable. Matilda's going to struggle a little bit with the inclines involved here in the hill campaign, but it's advancing on the Germans. This gives the Allies the advantage. But if you look over here, you can see, my goodness. Again, the Germans are forced to withdraw. They can't, they've got nothing that can face this Matilda. Unless we notice the anti-tank gun here to the rear. Remember, defending depth, every one of these lines is going to be viable. The arrival of British armour has tipped the balance in favour of the Sherwoods. The Matilda's been hit, as you can see, that anti-tank gun has got around it. They're bringing up a second Allied tank. This is the M3 Stuart. Known to the 8th Army as the Honey. It's a much lighter tank than the Matilda, much less heavily armoured. Mounting a smaller gun, 37mm. Very effective against infantry, but not so proof against anti-tank guns. As I'm sure you remember from our talk this morning from the Garrison Volunteers, most tanks were knocked out by anti-tank guns, not by other tanks. Now the Sherwoods have advanced to the second, but incoming again. Was that a hit on the M3? To an extent, ladies and gentlemen, the armour so far deployed by the British, initially it tipped the balance, but the Sherwoods have been promised heavy armour support. They hope they know that somewhere the 48th Royal Tank Regiment, 48 RTR is on its way to back up the fairly light armour support they've got so far. 48 RTR are equipped with the relatively new Churchill tank, very heavily armoured, very, very good at the kind of incline this hill country demands, and mounted the much improved 6-pounder anti-tank gun. But as yet there's no sign of them. The Sherwoods are going in without the support of 48 RTR. Now up till now that may have been academic, but the Germans have also got armour support, and it's been deployed now, a Panzer Mark III. The main staple really of the Afrika Korps. A very capable vehicle, mounting a 50mm anti-tank gun there. Now this could change things fundamentally. The Afrika Korps from their final line of defence. With the arrival of the Panzer III, again going to change the dynamic of this battlefield. It's deploying to flank the Sherwoods. This is bad news for the Sherwoods. They've effectively lost their own armour support. The Panzer III is coming in to support the Afrika Korps. It's flanking the position the Sherwoods are in. That position is becoming increasingly untenable, and yes, they're withdrawing now. Laying down as much fire as they can. They've got some small arms fire, there's some automatic fire from their Sten guns. They've got a Bren gun there, but they're predominantly armed with short magazine Lee Enfields, single shot infantry weapons. And it's likely to come down, at least in part, to who can lay down the hardest amount of fire, the heaviest weight of fire. The Panzer III is moving to back up the Afrika Korps. So the Sherwoods have been forced to withdraw to the first line of the German positions. In the absence of their own armoured support, they have very little anti-tank capability of their own. The standard British infantry anti-tank weapon was known as the Piat, the Projector Infantry Anti-Tank, a spring-loaded bomb-firing weapon, rather more effective than its reputation would have you believe, but you need to get to within about 50 metres of the enemy vehicle to ensure penetration. If you get within 50 metres, it's a very useful bit of kit, but beyond that, not so good. At the moment we have a little bit of a standoff here. The Afrika Korps are still in their... right, okay, the Panzer III has taken out the Honey. The Sherwoods are now in trouble. They have effectively no armour support. The Honey was an unequal opponent to the Panzer III, but at least it represented some kind of armoured firepower. At the moment, they have nothing. There's a MG34 letting rip, one side of it. Now, can things get any worse for the Sherwoods? They're pushed back into their initial position. Things can get considerably worse for the Sherwoods. The first of the heavy armours arrived. representative of the 501st Heavy Panthers Battalion. It's a Tiger 1. 55 tons, 88mm gun, 100mm frontal armour. This is Hitler's wonder weapon. This is the tank that Hitler used to go over the warfield. Emboldened by the arrival of the Tiger, the Afrika Korps are advancing. They intend to push the Sherwoods off the heights. And to be honest, there is very little the Sherwoods can do at the moment to stop them. Where is 48 RTR? If they don't arrive soon, it'll be too late. Redeploying, doing what they can, laying down as much fire as they can on the German infantry. To be honest, they're laying down a certain amount of fire on the Tiger. Their 303s and friends aren't going to do too much damage to it. What can you do? Fire on it or you run away, and they're not going to run away. Their bullets are punching holes in the soft tinware on the outside of the Tiger, the mud flaps, this sort of thing, barely scratching the armour. But frankly, they have no option. They've got to get down as much fire as they possibly can. Maybe they can hit the commander, maybe they can shatter a periscope. It's desperation time. Where is 48 RTR? We need those Churchills. Churchill has heavier armour than the Tiger in places. It could conceivably stand against the brute. That 6-pounder gun is packing. Can it penetrate the Tiger from the side? Where are they? Come on, 48 RTR. The Sherwoods are suffering here. They need armoured backup. Tiger's moving now to flank the Sherwoods, to enfilade them. Doesn't even need to load his 88. All it needs to do is bring those machine guns he's got to bear. There's nothing that Sherwoods can do to stop it. It's really not surprising that the very sight of a Tiger would generate a sort of visceral fear in those who saw it. They call it Tigerphobia. Look at that, you begin to understand why. So moving on to the higher ground, so he can bring his machine guns to bear on the Sherwood's position. They are in trouble. How can they counter this? Well, there's one way. They could use that Piat. Sergeant John Oscroft, a gallant gentleman, is taking that Piat as close as he possibly can to that Tiger. It's almost suicidal. if he can get a shot in, if he can get a decent hit somewhere, if there's any point of vulnerability on that Tiger, he's got a slender chance. Hey, it's bounced off. It's bounced off. The one anti-tank weapon they've got has proved to be ineffective. In his memoir, Sergeant Oscroft said, "I was convinced I was going to die." He didn't. But that was about the last card that the Sherwoods have got to play. Where is 48 RTR? Well, the answer is here. Here they come. Churchill Mark III, packing a 6-pounder. In fact, the Sherwoods are so desperate, they're laying out so much fire on the Africa Corps and on the ineffective fire of the Tiger, they don't even realise 48 RTRs arrived on an eminence behind them. Coming into a firing position, we're going to have a go at the Tiger. Now we'll take a degree of luck and some excellent gunnery to knock out that Tiger with a 6-pounder. Here they come. Let's see what we can do here. The crew of the Tiger are aware that there's heavy British armour in the vicinity, but they're also desperate to finish off the Sherwoods. My goodness. Ah, right, we've taken out the Panzer III first. That was a more equal contest. Churchill had the measure of the Panzer III, but how will it fare against the Tiger? Which after all is a Panzer VI, so an entirely different beast of an entirely different order. The whole battle now is in balance. The initial British armour knocked out by rather more capable German vehicles. The Germans have deployed their heavy armour trump card, and now the British are deploying the heaviest armour they have to hand. That's the Churchills of 48 RTR. The whole battle is going to rest on which of the heavy armour prevails. Ah, now the Sherwoods have spotted an anti-tank gun abandoned by the Germans. Now the Sherwoods aren't gunners, but they're going to try whatever they can. If they can get some rounds away at that Tiger, that's an awful lot more effective than using a Brent gun against it. worth a shot. Right, both Sherwood and the Churchill have fired. I'm looking for evidence of hit on the Tiger. Tiger's gone very silent. The Sherwoods are pushing an advantage. Rushing the Afrika Korps, getting fire down on the infantry. And that's it. The infantry have gone. They've passed their last position. They're heading back down to Tunis. This could be the end of it. And still no sign of the Tiger crew abandoning their vehicle, but it seems pretty clear it's been knocked out. Close. It was the Duke of Wellington, a damn near run thing, but the Allies have taken point 174. The road to Tunis is open. The fall of Tunisia is now inevitable. Sherwood's just mopping up any Germans in the area and advance there. They've got some prisoners there. In reality, Tiger 131 was hit by 3 rounds of 6-pounder fire from one or more Churchill 48 RTR. 1 round did minimal damage, another round jammed the turret and cracked the armour above the driving compartment, taking out the radio, and a 3rd round shattered an open loader operator's hatch, causing shrapnel damage inside the vehicle and injuring at least 1 crew member. We don't know for sure what happened to the crew. The German war diaries at the time simply said that the Tiger came under ineffectual fire from a British Churchill. The crew panicked and ran. There's no record of them in the German records. The Sherwoods claim to have captured them, but there's no definitive record to that. It's a bit of a mystery. It's a bit of a mystery. However, I hope we've been able to shed some light on the capture of Tiger 131. I'd like to thank again, oh hello, here comes the boss, to come and have a look. Here we go. There's the Daimler Dingo. Officer commanding Sherwood's, come and have a look how these guys have done. They've done very well. And that's indicative, I think, that the battlefield is now ours. I'd like once more to thank the reenactors of History in the Making and Hamish MacLeod, who is their choreographer, if you like. This battle has been arranged by Hamish, and I hope it's given us some indication of what it was like up there on point 174 during the Battle for Tunis and the capture of Tiger 131. I'm now going to hand you back to David